To get started with Snap It Up, we're going to dive right in to the first bar. And the first note is one of those string snaps. We're going to get underneath this 6th string open, and we're going to pop it up off of the fretboard. Immediately choke down by putting your picking hand down on the string and let that note just deaden out. Let's mute it out. Then we're going to get into some brush ups here, followed by another snap. Now these brush ups are basically going to start on the top 3 strings with this E chord fretted, but you're going to put down your pinky finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string just to add a little bit of melody here. Then pop the 4th string, move up into the D note on the 2nd string, and do this little move where we're going to pop it a couple times, or brush up really a couple times, followed by another string snap. So when you put this together, here's what you get. Then for the next measure, we're really going to do very much the same thing, but the melody on top is going to change very slightly. And that's it, really. The last little strum just hangs on that E7. From here, we're going to move into a lick. So you're going to pop that 6th string, use that time to get out of this position and come up here to train whistle territory. This is a great place to be in the blues, and you can hear why it's called the train whistle. What we're going to do is fret up on the 7th fret here on the 1st string, and then the 8th on the 2nd string. And then we're going to move into this lick. And then we're going to make use of these open strings. I just did a little brush up through the top 2 strings here. And that gives you some time to move your hand back down to this part of the fretboard here. And continue with the arrangement. So let's take a look at these 4 bars in E. Now you should notice that at the end of the train whistle lick, we did one little quick move that really planted us back in the main E chord shape here that we're going from. So we've got the open strings ringing, and then we did this little pull-off move on the 3rd string to the 4th string. And that gets us right back solidly in E, where we strummed out for the rest of the measure. And from here, we're ready to move on to our A chord for a couple of bars. And we're going to start out with another one of those string pops. But this is happening under the 5th string here. Then we're going to hit the 4th string with a quick little snap there. And then this flat 7 note here, the G note. Very bluesy sound happening here, really calling out that A7 quality. And that's the lick. And one tiny thing that's happening when we hit that G note, right here, we're pushing up ever so slightly, bending this note slightly sharp, giving it a real bluesy kind of vibe here. And ending with this little pull-off move to the open 1st string. Then for the 2nd measure in A, we keep that sort of mindset going, but we're going to add a chord move here. Where we slide the whole thing up a step with 2 brush-ups, 2 quick brush-ups here. Then come back and finish with a little micro lick to get us out of A. And we're headed back into our E chord that we've already done. Then we're going to move back up here to train whistle territory. So that's the same. The difference here from the previous measure when we came to this train whistle lick is how we're going to get out of it. Before we did this little tag move, here what we're going to do is slightly different. We're going to start on the 4th fret of the 3rd string and do a quick slide down to the 2nd fret, followed by a pull off. It's a very quick move, and it's a real staple in the blues. Let's have a listen to it. So hear how quick that was. We're sliding back down, barely letting that open string sound before coming down on the E note on the 4th string. Then we're going to do some strumming. The next thing that we're going to do is at the very end here, instead of sticking on that E note, we're going to pull off and let the D note sound on the 4th string on our way to the B7 chord. Here's the move. Pretty quick there. That's where you really want to stick the landing, is on that B note, that root. And then we're going to move into some more strumming under the B7. And like the A7 move, we're going to move this up a whole step just to add some interest here. And that's happening with a lot of brush ups on the first 3 strings, the top 3 strings. Then back to our A. And then here we are at the turnaround. Let's have a listen to this turnaround. So there's a lot happening here, but we're rooted in that classic turnaround because we're letting that 6th string ring, then we're sliding up into this E7 shape here. And we're going to play it down on the 4th fret of the E string. Back down to the 2nd fret. Kind of outlining the chord tones there from our E without actually playing it. And then finally, this little lick to get us into more of the B7 sound to round us out. Then we're going to move into the second 12-bar sequence and snap it up. And this starts out with just some strumming on the E chord. After you do that for 2 measures, you're going to end, or really start the 3rd measure in this section with a string snap and slide up here to the 12th fret. And we're going to do some punchy little notes here. So all that's happening here is I'm at the 12th fret and I'm playing this with a very short and choppy attack here. And then I'm just backing down to the 9th fret and then doing the same thing on the 2nd string. Then we come back and we start that sequence again. Then we do a descending lick here from 12 to 9, 12 to 9 again, and then 11 to 9, 11 to 9, and then finally the 10th here. Before moving to our A chord, which is the same as it was in the previous 12-bar section. That measure is the same as well, and so is this train whistle lick. and the rest of the arrangement as well. So the main difference in the second 12-bar section is this bit where you're playing this single note line up here around the 12th fret. So that's the arrangement for Snap It Up, a rhythmic, punchy sort of thing happening in the key of E. Be sure to take your time and practice this, and when this really comes together, you've got a nice little bluesy arrangement. Take your time, work hard, and you'll get there.